Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn about how to balance busy work lives, right? I feel like there's a lot of us on the Rising Phoenix who work a real job. We work a full-time job and do coaching on the side. So I'm here to kind of shed some light on what's been working for me over the last really year and helped move my business forward, as well as kept my business consistent. So hang on, I'm going to share my screen, I think. Hang on, let's see, share screen, do that one. And present. Okay, I'm hoping this is working. If y'all, this is like a glimpse into how I taught online, y'all. It was an interesting thing. So I am Andrea Benning. I am on my last week qualifying for One Star Diamond. My team is the Delightful Dreamers and pretty much is made up of mostly teachers and working moms, as well as just a few other people like administrators and counselors, people who work. I don't think there's a single person on my team of coaches who doesn't have a full-time job. So I'm really, really proud of that. My team is amazing. So I wear a number of hats. I first and foremost am a special education teacher. I've been teaching in the public education sector. I think this is my 14th year. I'm not really sure. I don't really count. I love what I do. I teach special education. I taught 5 years in what's called lower incidence disabilities. So a self-contained classroom, grades K through 4. And then I've spent the rest of my time in preschool programming for children with disabilities. So little humans with special needs, 3 through 5. This is one of my dear little humans. His name is Logan, and he just brings so much light to the world. And I'm pretty much obsessed with him. On top of that, I am a yoga teacher. I'm a registered yoga teacher. I have 200 hours. I'm working on my 500 hour this year. And so I teach a couple days a week. And I'm a functional movement instructor for my main man, Max. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see him not as frequently anymore, thank you, COVID. But he is just, again, a light in my life and has allowed me to work with him on just gaining momentum for his life, which is great. And a Beachbody coach. So I have been coaching for 2 years and a little bit now. Joy actually found me on Instagram and DM, and I remember thinking, who is this bananas lady? I don't why is she talking to me and I don't know you? But she actually just engaged me. My friend Kelly, who's on this call, we went to New Orleans for a weekend. I'm like, look, I don't want to talk anything health and wellness while I'm in New Orleans, because that's just not going to happen. But she kept on pursuing me, kept on just asking me, re-asking me, and I was like, you know, I was a yoga teacher, a marathon runner, and I knew that I needed something else to weight bear. My doctors actually said to stop running and go to yoga. So then I went full-fledged to yoga, and I never really lifted weights. And then they said, hey, you probably need to start lifting weights to keep bone density. So it just all was God's timing. Joy found me, and I actually said no for a bit. And then she just kind of kept on asking, but what are you looking for? What are you looking for? And I said, weight training. So I was going to be all in with a 3-month body on demand access. And somehow that sneaky little lady, I went from 3 months of BOD to jumping in as a discount coach because I heard the word discount. As a teacher, I do not make a lot of money. I make what the district tells me I make. So no matter my efforts, I make what I make. And that's it. So it's a very fixed income. I live by myself now. I own my home. I had a car payment. Obviously I pay my bills. So very fixed income. And that's actually why I started teaching yoga. But again, that's a very fixed income for yoga as well. So it took me probably about 6 months to figure out that I could work this business because it was a business and I could make money and not just use the 25% discount. So hashtag cheap teacher, wanted the 25% off. And I had a great mentor who was Joy, and she just kept pouring into me. So my big why is I am not a mother, nor do I have a desire to be a biological mother, but I've always felt the calling to do something for children who need it. So I'm in my last couple stages of becoming a foster parent, which is very scary, not gonna lie. And then I sweat thinking about it. And then possibly in the future, I would like to adopt at some point in time. Again, I don't know what that looks like yet. but that is my why. I want to be financially stable enough to provide whatever child or children come through my home a great, loving, and opportunistic environment. So these are my two little nieces right here. And, you know, Ant Life is amazing. They're bananas just like me. I love them. So if you are like me and you have multiple hats, obviously our vital behaviors are something that we need to lean on. So I'm all about systems-based. So if you've never heard this before, I just heard it last year at one of our meetings in Dallas. So be a product of the product. You got to use the products, y'all. You got to do something. You wouldn't be a coach if you're like, oh, I coach and I don't know anything about anything. It doesn't mean that you have to be an expert on everything. You just need to have knowledge about something. So for me, I started with 21 Day Fix, and I knew it's a program, 21 days, you sweat your butt off. Who wants to do it with me? Like, that's literally how I started. So working out and using your supplements. If all you do is work out, maybe you work out and follow a nutrition product. So, or nutrition program. So there you go, product of the product. Number two, this is the most important one for me personally, is personal development. I learned really quickly when Joy started harping on me to find a book or audiobook or podcast that was for personal development. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? I am developed personally. I'm a yogi. I'm enlightened, all the things. No. So personal development was something that I started doing, reading a book, 10 minutes every day, 15 minutes on the weekends, that really started working my mind. It's like a workout for my mind. And it started helping me see how I could change my behaviors to just be a better version of me. And as that was happening and I became a better version of me, I could actually help people become better versions of themselves. So that for me is a non-negotiable as personal development. So I always offer my team, you can read a book or you can do a podcast. Book, obviously you can do an audiobook. Audible is the jam. I love it. There's no excuse why you're getting ready in the morning. Number three, invite. So everyone's like, invite, oh my God, it's so scary, but it's really not. We could do like a whole lecture on inviting and why it's really not scary. But the three things I tell my team to do and what I do is I invite to my free group. I have a free group every single month. I invite to my challenge group. It doesn't matter if you're doing MBF and someone wants to do 10 rounds. Like, you're just inviting to a challenge group. It's all the same thing. It's an accountability challenge group, and they get the freedom of choice. As a teacher, we know how important that is, freedom of choice, right? And number three, inviting to the opportunity. This one for me always scares me a little bit, and I get like the weird neck and back sweat, and I don't know why. But it does, y'all. And I'm really working on that this year, on just like knowing what this opportunity has done for me and shifting my mindset to, I see what it's done for me, and it's selfish to hold that back from someone else. So that's one of my affirmations. Y'all, I even got like behind the knee sweat just now thinking about it. And number four is celebrate. So as a teacher or multiple working busy person, we all know the power of positive reinforcement, right? So we celebrate, I love hearing this the other day, action steps. It's not necessarily someone got a challenge cart, someone got a coach, but celebrate the action. So for me, I have found with my other working coaches, it gets really hard hearing no. It gets really hard getting ghosted. So like just celebrating sometimes the bravery of doing something, pushing play for the first time, making the public post, things like that. Celebrate the poop out of people. So there's the fun little graphic I stole from someone. Haha, using it. So here's how I set up my mornings in order to have success. So for me, I teach, my school hours start at 7:30, but let's get real. If you're a teacher or you have a busy job, you're probably at work early because you're a determined person. So I get to work around 6:30, 6:40 in the morning, which means I get up real early. Thank you, Energize. So for me, I kind of time blocked what I've been doing this last week and put a number to it because you're like, well, how long? I'm that person too. I get it. So I choose to work out in the morning because then there's no excuse like wine or beer or children. Not that I have kids, but I get my workout done in the morning and I use my supplements. So that's about 45 minutes of my time. I do a Facebook story every single day. You can do Instagram, Facebook, combination of both. And my little tag is just push play. And I get like so much stink about it from my friends who are not in Beachbody, but you know what? They give me stink. It means they're seeing it, which makes me really happy. So I do it every single time. Every single time. You're going to hear this word accountability quite a bit today, because that's how I've gotten people to realize, like, I'm not just doing this a couple days a week. Like, this is what I do because I know it works for me. I do like a little video snippet of my workout. I use, what is it called? Video Shop. It's a free app. It's this little orange one right here. And you can just upload a video and edit it, make it fast, about 15 seconds, add music, there you go. Again, that's what's showing consistency and accountability. If I'm not showing up for me, I'm probably not gonna show up for anybody else, right? And then I check in with my BOD group and my Facebook group. So that for me is about 10 minutes. So now we're at 55 minutes in the morning. I also choose to use a power pocket in the morning. Like, summer's great because I can sit here for like an hour and a half and just get my work done. But let's get real. Work time is not really gonna happen that way. So I budget about 25 minutes and I do my critical things for my mind. 1, I write my goals down. 2, I say my affirmations. When I say, I legitimately out loud like a psychopath, say it. But it works, y'all. There's the woo-woo voodoo magic, right? And number 3, I use my fresh brain because I'm not bogged down by everything that's happened throughout the day. And that's when I invite. So I'm inviting based typically on my warm market. If you're like, what's warm market? It means people that you've already talked to and you have a conversation going. So for diamond status, I'm doing 7 and 3. 7 invites to a challenge group, free group, coaching call, things like that. And 3 to the opportunity. When I was coach in Emerald, I did 5 invites and 1 coaching opportunity. And that ratio is what pushed me forward. I swear by it. I don't know, whoever created these magic numbers is a genius. And then I have found from my viewing people, mostly teachers and people who work, if I post my Facebook post in the morning before work, it gets a heck of a lot more traction than if I do it after school. And let me tell you something. I am the teacher. If you're posting during school hours, I'm like, well, where are your kids? Why are you posting on Facebook when you got kids at school? Don't do that. I'm a judgy person. I know it's awful to admit, but I like to post either before school. Candace is like, you're a psycho. I know. Or after school. Try not to post during school or work hours because, you know, your bosses may not like that. And while I'm getting ready, so packing my lunch, taking a shower if I shower that day, that's when I'm listening to my audiobook or my podcast for my personal development. Multitask. So everyone's like, but what do you do while you're at work? I work. I mean, if you're a teacher on this call, like, you know the importance of not turning your eyes from your kids because 1 minute is a long time. And I've had a kid run across the field. So I use Joy's like, just go to the bathroom. I'm like, sometimes I can't go to the bathroom, but I take my phone in the bathroom sometimes. And that's when I'm doing like some sort of check-in. I'm checking my BOD group or something like that. At lunchtime, when there are no children present, I may take a picture of my lunch for my stories. So it's showing consistency. I may do like my poll or my question of the day. And then I talk about my kiddos because that's one of my pillars. I am a teacher. I love my job, y'all. I'm obsessed with my job. So I may talk about a funny story right there. But for me, like, work time is work time. And I have made it a point to not open messages, Beachbody related, until I can answer them. Because let me tell you, I forget. I'll open it and be like, oh yeah, Delise just asked about da-da-da-da-da. And then I go 6 days, I'm like, mother of pearl. And then I feel like a Yahoo and then I get all weird about answering. So don't open anything from someone you've invited until you can actually answer. That was something huge for me that I learned this past year. So then after work, like I said, I teach yoga and I do functional training with Main Man Max. So I've got my second job. So in the evenings, I have about another 30 to 45 minute power pocket that I sit and I work. So if you're a working mom, this may be like your kid's screen time. If you've got a teenager kid, I like what one of my girlfriends, Devin, did when she was pushing for Diamond. She's like, look, if you can leave me alone for this 45 minutes and I hit this goal, we'll redo your room. There's that positive reinforcement, right? Like, don't come to me about you're hungry, you want a snack, you want to go outside. Go sit, stay, behave, let me work. And it's not selfish. you're teaching your kids how to be dedicated to something, and you're showing them the importance of following through with something that you set for yourself. Goal setting, right? Very important life skill. So for my 30 to 45 minute power pocket, it looks like my 10 conversations a day. Those conversations are imperative because that's what leads to an invite later on. So it's like the happy birthday messages, happy belated birthday, commenting on Facebook and Insta stories. I love Insta stories because you can actually like comment and start a message. That's been great for me. I'm learning to use that feature. Hashtag not tech savvy. So getting there, learning. If you see something that someone made, like DM, or for me, I love a voice memo, because when people hear how excited you are about, oh my God, your kid's graduation photo, it's just so beautiful. Who was your photographer? It's opening up that dialogue and that conversation piece to have someone to invite later. All about the voicemail, y'all. And then that's about 10 minutes of my time. Adding to my network is something that I just realized how to do like last year, like in the fall. I didn't realize that I needed more people. I mean, it seems really stupid to say that and admit that, but Joy was like, yeah, it's network marketing. Network, you need a bigger network. So I spent about 10 minutes on either Facebook or Instagram, and I add people. Here's some of the things I've done that I have found success with. I go to groups that I'm a part of, like Texas teachers, Texas special ed teachers, Instapot groups, and I look for people that I'm like, oh, genuinely, like Shannon looks cool. I would want to be her friend, and I add those people. And recently what I've been doing is going to, if you are a teacher on this, you've got lots of parents, I'm sure, or colleagues on your Facebook or Instagram. Go to their friends list, and then it'll tell you, like, Kelly Holacek, 8 mutual friends. So then I'm going to add that person because I don't look like a stalker, and I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to put them on a little note, like reach out to that person, start commenting and liking, because that's more of a warm market than just like Joe Blow off the side of the street. Like that to me is weird, but that's just me, my own insecurity. So if I already have like a 10 or 15 mutual friend, I'm like, maybe we cross paths. I do another Facebook story or Facebook Live or Insta Story Live in the evenings for one of my pillars. What does pillar mean? Pillar, for me, I'm a teacher, I'm a yogi, I like to eat healthy, I drink, and I like plants. So like those are the things that I typically will story about. And like right now my plants are growing. So I ask a lot of polls, like, what does this mean when my plant has a weird brown spot in the middle? And y'all, it's amazing. People want to help you out. So ask those questions, leave the poll. So I do about 5 minutes of stories and or taking pictures of things to add to a story later. Like I have boiled eggs. Well, trying to like them. I can't peel them. So guess what? I'm going to do a story about in a bit. How do you peel boiled eggs? And then adding those celebrations. In the evenings, I also do all of my follow-ups for my inviting that day. So those messages I left closed all day, I will open them in the evening. And then same thing again. I check it with my team. How are we doing? How is it going? I have a Facebook group like the Wellness Warriors for Joy. I have the Delightful Dreamers. I'm checking in there. So anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes in the evening. So realistically, each day I have scheduled 1.5 hours of work a day. So that really means for the week, it's about 9.5 to 10 hours of direct work on my business. And we're like, well, how often do you work? At the level that I want to work, I'm working about 10 hours a week. So how I became a consistent coach. There's 2 different methods that I've used. I've done my daily activity tracker that's in your back office. I've done daily tracking, but I've also done weekend stacking. So it's kind of, ooh, in my armpit. It's kind of self-explanatory. I like now for me, daily activity versus what I was doing for about 3 months was on Saturday, I sat down for about 3.5, 4 hours and got all of my invites done, all of my planning for the week done. And it was a heavy Saturday. I didn't like that. So I stopped it for about 3 months because I didn't see my numbers going up, but it works great for other people. I've seen 8-star diamond people who just work on Saturdays and Sundays, and they leave their work week. So the evenings is free for family time. Number 2, I made the national wake-up call a non-negotiable. I just realized there's a podcast. What the heck? I know, Delisa's like, you're an idiot. Y'all, podcast. How genius is that? I can listen to it in the car. And let's get real, like the first like 15, 20 minutes is like celebrations and things like that. And like the content's like the last 20 minutes. The team call that, you know, we have as the Rising Phoenix on Tuesdays is a non-negotiable for me. So you can do it live or your playback. But like that for me was pivotal because I started implementing one thing a week. Rachel Hollis says, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Like that was my big summit takeaway last year. I can listen to as much stuff as I want, but if I'm not actually applying it, then I've wasted my time. No bueno for busy people, right? So I make it a point to write down one thing from the National Wake Up Call and one thing from our Tuesday call that I'm going to implement. Number 4, business hours. Yep, you own a business. You don't have to work 24/7. In fact, I would really encourage you to set strict boundaries, especially if you're new. Like my phone is off at 9. I won't answer you past 9. And I'm not apologetic anymore because y'all, I gotta sleep. I get up at 4:15. Let's get real. So figure out for you what your business hours are and make it non-negotiable. Protect your sanity first. And the last but not least, ask questions. The more questions you ask, like from your sponsor coach or Google or back office or the Rising Phoenix, the more you're gonna learn, right? Like I'm a learn by doing kind of person. And then you now have that knowledge, you can apply it. So that's how I became consistent. And y'all, I feel bad for Joy because I ask all the questions and sometimes on repeat. So slow learner. I get Skittles for myself. I'm like, yes, I did it. I Googled this time. Go deep. So some things I want to tell you, like we have a phenomenal head coach and she gives us so many resources. So for me, I struggle with creativity. I'm not a very creative person. So in your tracker, like I use Josh Coates' tracker. These are the things that he's told me to post every single day. And yes, post every day. You know why? I had 5 people over the last 3 months, over summertime, 5 people approach me about, okay, I've seen your posting. What are you doing? I'm finally ready. You're clearly not quitting because I post every day, which means I'm in their feed every day, right? Did you get that? Every day? And I love this posting schedule because he gives us ideas and tips and tricks. Like 2 days a week, it's lifestyle or engagement. You are more than a Beachbody coach. Like, I don't care if you're elite number 1, top 10, sapphire, diamond person. You are more than just this job. You're a human being first. So be a human being first and don't be that person who just posts Beachbody because I'll be blunt, it's not attractive. I mean, Kelly and I were talking about someone yesterday. Every day, it's literally product, 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 and that's not becoming. And that's, I mean, for me, I'm like, I don't like it. Also, in Rising Phoenix, they typically have a content planner. So if you really need like something to give you ideas, if you look in the Rising Phoenix, like typically under files, if you're like, what the heck is that? Go into Rising Phoenix today. There's units and there's files. Take 20 minutes and kind of just look around. There's such great ideas in there for your content. And last but not least, utilize collaborative power hours. These may not be super feasible for you if you're a teacher or admin or counselor or have like a full-time job, but depending on where you are in the States, one of these might work for you. So these are the ones, again, this is posted in the Rising Phoenix. If you're gonna time block like me, what I would recommend you do, let's see, stop sharing. Oh no, we're still going, just kidding. So this is what I wanna show you, like last year when I actually put systems in place, I made 552. Over a year of being consistent and accountable to myself first and my coaching team second, I think it was like 144%. Like I was blown away. Like this is one whole paycheck for school for me. So this was amazing. So again, Beachbody does not guarantee any sort of income at all. It's all based on your efforts, diligence, and skill set. So diligence is the biggest one, right? So how do you find a balance? I'm going to try to wrap up as quickly as I can. How do I find balance? Sundays, I map out my week using a time block calendar. So you can Google like hour blocking calendar. And I literally go in and I do a big pink highlighted block of 6:30 to 4 because that's when I'm at work. I can't do jack crap for my business between those hours. So that's when I know, okay, I've got 25 minutes here. I've got 45 minutes here. Maybe you got kids and you're doing like soccer practice on Tuesdays. Use soccer practice on Tuesdays for a big chunk because maybe on Wednesdays you do church. You can't work at church. At least I don't think you can. So time block, color code it so you can see exactly when you need to work on what. I set a weekly goal via my tracker sheet so I know if my activity is going to get me to my goal or not. I commit to following my tracker. Like just commit. I tell my coaches, if you can give me 2 months consistently of using your tracker, like every single week it's done, you've built those habits in place, and then it's no longer like sitting and checking a box. Like you know what you need to do. So again, we talked about daily action versus weekend stacking. Very personal choice, but you kind of know what you need to do. And then I use these systems. Like systems for me are put in place so it takes out the guesswork. I don't have to guess what I'm posting. I don't have to guess what workout I'm doing. I don't have to guess what my calls are. Like it's very black and white, which saves me and my mind time and energy. So I use a system called Dough, and I believe there's still a free trial for a free 30 days, if I'm not mistaken. For me, it was worth it. I paid the whole year, and it's worth it. I love it. I'd be happy to talk to anybody after the call about it. It's freaking phenomenal. There's also Streak that I've used in the past via Gmail. And then my favorite really before that was pencil and paper. I'm like a 65-year-old trapped in a 37-year-old's body, y'all. But you need a system. And let me tell you, like, this was my system forever. Like green meant like go. I did an invite. Pink meant like send something. So just whatever works for your brain, stick to it. But I can't recommend Dough enough. And it's a business write-off. Back to action. I post every single day, guys. The more you show up in the feed, the more people get to see you, which is amazing. And again, I post about my life. That's my balance, is I'm D. And I happen to be a Beachbody coach because I believe in it, right? I schedule in fun. Fun, y'all. Again, I like to go out. I like to travel. I like to drink. I like to do all the things. And I literally I work this business so I have the money to do those things, to provide for an abundant future for myself, right? Office hours and weekends. For me, Saturdays, I do the group Zoom workout, and then Saturday's my day. Lay by the pool, hang out, do brunch, whatever you do as a family. Because if you burn out because you don't, and again, plan off time, what a waste. What a waste. So plan for your mental sanity. Do something for you. And that may be like bubble baths and wine. That's my Sunday routine. And I watch one show that I want to watch because I don't watch TV. So Sunday is my TV day. So that is really it for me. The biggest things I want you to take away are find a system for you that you can stick to with validity. Again, if you are a teacher or an educator on here, you know you're not going to just put a curriculum out there that you created. You're finding something with validity. And if you're not, Lord, we'll have a conversation after this about teaching, because that is not good teaching. Data collection. As a teacher or admin, you hopefully are using data collection, right? For your kids. That's our data tracker. Guys, it's really a paralleled system. So know that, yeah, it's hard. It's not easy. But if you put your systems in place like now and just do it, it's really not hard to keep it going if you find those times and schedule it in. Is it going to be fail safe? No, you're going to mess up. You're going to have stuff pop up. I do all the time, but that's okay because you're going to have the systems in place and you're going to get right back on it. Anyway, happy 2020 year, or 2021. Now I get to go talk to my school. More back sweat for that. I still don't know how I'm teaching y'all, so.
Prayers to all you teachers.
If y'all have any comments, questions, concerns, let me know. I would love to answer them. I'm sure you can find me via Rising Phoenix. Deep breath. I love you guys, and we'll talk later.